We are going to be showing you how to take this to this. We are going to be talking about doing a bleach root touch-up in foils without compromising the ends, and then just a few little tips and tricks I have for foiling and toning. So if you are interested in watching this, stay tuned.
Okay, so we are going to be starting off here. I already foiled the back and I'm just going to be showing you guys what I do in the front. My cute model is named Ainsley. She's actually a stylist at my salon and she brought her cute baby this day, so you guys will get to see a little bit of her. So I just worked my way up on an angle right here, and now we are focusing on those hairline pieces to make sure that they are really bright. So what I'm going to be doing right here is taking a slice, and since we aren't wanting to compromise the ends of her hair, we are only going to be doing the root regrowth. And the reason being is you guys can already see she's like a level 10 on her ends. She's already as blonde as she needs to be, so I am just touching the regrowth, not feathering down at all, and then we are going to be toning in the bowl to brighten everything up. Now that we are done with doing slices around the hairline, I am just going to be doing my regular highlighting. As you guys can see here, I am doing baby lights, pretty fine sections, and we are just doing the regrowth like I talked about. Using the right tools when doing this will really help. Make sure you have a brush that isn't too bulky or too big. I've noticed when I use tools like that or brushes like that, I feel like it tends to drag my product down a little bit. So I'm using a brush that has really soft bristles and they're a little bit finer so that I can just do the regrowth. And also using the right lightener will help as well, making sure you're using one that doesn't swell a ton and that you know what the consistency and the lift is. Here I am using Schwarzkopf Blonde Me with 20 volume. You guys know I love that lightener. I know how it works. I never have to guess what it's going to do, and it's just my ride or die at the moment. I've also been dabbling in other lighteners and other color lines too, and I'm really excited to bring you guys videos with content using those things, so stay tuned for that. So as you guys can see here, we are just continuing up on this side, and then we are going to be going to the bowl to tone and do everything after we finish foiling. I am all done foiling her head and her back foils are done, so I'm going to be pulling them before I pull the front ones. This is going to ensure that they don't over process. Even though we are just doing the root area and I don't have lightener on her ends, we want to make sure that the root doesn't over process, because if it goes too blonde or if you over process it, the hair can feel really fragile or it won't match the ends. I've seen a lot of people struggle with doing highlights where the roots are a lot lighter than the ends, and you want to make sure you keep it at a consistent lift. All right, we are now ready to pull all of her foils. Who else loves watching videos of foils being pulled? I know it's like a trend on Instagram right now, and every time I see a video like that, I just stop and watch the whole thing. It's just so mesmerizing for some reason. All right, now we are at the bowl. All the foils are out, and we are going to be doing a maxi wash, which is a clarifying shampoo. I've talked about this in videos in the past, but I like to do this to all of my blondes because the clarifying shampoo gets rid of all of the bleach residue that we used while lifting her, and then also any product buildup that they have in their hair, and this just gives us a really clean, nice canvas to tone on. So that's what I'm doing here. I am now coating her ends in Kevin Murphy's Hydrate Me mask. This is just going to give her hair a little bit of hydration and moisture while we tone the top of her hair. We are just going to be doing a slight root tap on her, and her ends are going to be in that mask while they're processing, and then this will also prevent her hair from getting splotchy on the ends if any of that toner from the top leaks down. And then once we are done with this root, we will rinse the ends out and tone the ends. When I am doing root taps, I always like to divide the hair into two sections, just one clean line down the middle, and then I always like to go around the perimeter of that section before I start going on the inside. So as you guys can see here, I did her whole part down to the back, and now I am starting at the bottom and working my way to the top. I am using Redken Shades EQ 7N 8NA, and the reason we're doing this is because I like to match the natural level, which is a 7, and then the 8NA is just going to make it a little bit lighter so that it's not so dark. A 7 wouldn't be too dark on her anyway, but we aren't necessarily wanting the look of a root, we just want a slight shadow. The NAs are really great for giving a cooler root tone, so I really like mixing that with the ends. I did 3/4 7N and then about 1/4 8NA. I always like to comb my root shadow down just a little bit to help it blend really well. And as you guys can see here, I did not touch her hairline at all. I'm going to leave that untouched just so that it stays really bright around her face. So now I'm going to be rinsing everything out. That is both the mask on her ends and the root toner. And then we are going to be toning her ends using Goldwell Colorants 10P. This is one of my favorite toners for blondes. You guys would know that if you've been watching my channel for a while. So a little tip with doing blonde root retouches is you don't want to put the toner right where you put the highlights first, because those hairs are more porous and it's going to suck the toner up more than her ends will. So I am actually applying the toner to her ends first, since the cuticle hasn't been opened as recently as her root area. And then as soon as I am ready to, I will start working my way up into the root area and then doing the hairline very last, because the hairline is usually a little more porous than the rest of the hair. And I've just noticed that if you tone those areas first, they're usually purple while the rest of the hair is a really good blonde. So just keep that in mind as a little trick for toning. Look how bright and beautiful this blonde is. I am so obsessed with how this turned out, and her hair feels healthy and so great as well. I am so obsessed with the results we got using all of these products and all of these tips and tricks. Doing highlights is definitely a learned art, and it takes years and years of practice to perfect your craft and to learn what works for you and what doesn't. So I hope this video helped a little bit. Let me know if you have any tips or tricks of your own in the comments below. Also, make sure to follow Ainsley on Instagram. She is a super talented stylist, and I think you guys will enjoy her work. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Have a great day. I'm on